Hello. Happy New Year, everyone. It's cold out. I'm outside again in my happy place again. I'm going to show it to you while we are sitting here. I think it's about 28 degrees right now in Connecticut, and I'm on my morning walk. As you come in, say hi. So I'm on my morning walk and decided that I needed to stop in my happy place and just hang out for a few minutes. This is a live that I actually wanted to do yesterday. But as you know, yesterday got a little bit off the rails quickly. So I chose to change it up and do it today. Hi, Elaine. Happy New Year. Truth. So here's what I'm going to back up a little bit, right? It's the new year. I know we're 7 days into the new year. I decided to take some time off at the end of the year last year to be with my kiddos. And we had a great time. It was the first time in a long time that I, disconnected and turned off the computer and turned off the stuff and really just got to hang out with some close friends who we are, tight within our quarantine, and spend it with my kids. And we're getting a puppy on Saturday. And so there's just a lot of stuff going on that we're super excited about. And during that time, it's the new year and people are all popping up their resolutions, which is not something that I am a big fan of. But they're also using, what's your word for the year? I could not tell you what my word for 2020 was. And I don't know that I want to go back and research it to see what it was. But I did think that it was important to do one for this year. And the more I thought about it and the more I reflected on it and the more that I, meditated on it, the word truth just kept popping up. And so I thought about it and I was like, I've got a lot of people in my life who have a lot of really great stories that, involve truth, involve life-changing moments where they, looked in the mirror and said, this is not what I want. This is not bringing me joy. This is not my happiness. And there was stuff underneath it that they needed to come to reckon with or come to terms with and expose, not just for themselves, but for, the people in their lives who they were hoping could love and support them. So, I started thinking about it and I was like, I think truth right now is a really good word. I think it's probably a good word for this year going into another unexpected, unknown year, right? We don't have any answers or we don't have a lot of answers for a lot of things that we all experienced together last year. We see a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel with COVID and vaccines, but not with decreasing numbers. So I'm sure there's, some hesitation and trepidation and uncertainty and fear around that as well. So that's how I came to truth. I also came to truth by way of, just what's happening in the world, right? Yesterday was a horror. And I feel like, it's time to actually stand up and face the truth and do something about it. And if you have followed me at all in the last, 5 years that I've been doing this business, I started with the truth, right? I started my business because I went through a pretty difficult time when I was, working in corporate America, and there was just a lot of toxicity and it was very stressful, caused me to burn out and eventually quit my job and start this one. But I was afraid to admit that for a long time. And I was afraid to say I couldn't do all the things. And I was afraid to say I wasn't happy. And until I actually did those things, that's when I found true happiness, because I could breathe again and I could find support and I could lean on, resources and people in my life who could help me get through it and embrace that truth and then turn it into what I get to do every day and that I'm so lucky to get to do every day. And that's help other people find their truth and understand that, when you're living in an authentic way for yourself, that's when you find true happiness. It's nobody else's responsibility to make you happy. It's your responsibility to make you happy. And that's the only way you're going to find it, right? You can kid yourself by saying, I got a new car, or I'm getting a new puppy, or I'm, building or buying a bigger house and all that stuff. But none of that is going to bring you joy, truly, unless you are, or until you are living your truth. So I think that's a really good word for this year. I think it's a good word for a lot of my clients. I think it's a good word for a lot of my friends. I think it's a good word for humanity right now. I think we have to every single one of us on the planet, take a good look in the mirror and really confirm our values and really think about what's important and really look at our communities and ask ourselves if we're doing everything that we can to be supportive of our neighbors and our friends and people we don't even know. So I think, truth is a really good word for this year. I think that we're going to learn a lot about each other. I think we're going to learn a lot about ourselves. I'm turning Why Am I Yelling Live into a truth series right now. I've got some friends who are willing to share their vulnerability and authenticity with us, and I'm so grateful for that we're going to be seeing in the next couple of weeks pop in here as my guests. And I think that, by them sharing their stories, you might be able to connect with them on a level of understanding and acknowledgement and potentially be able to see your truth if you're struggling with something right now. Something I started doing this last year when I was working with clients is encouraging them to every morning look in the mirror while you're brushing your teeth and say 3 kind things to yourself. Find 3 things that you love about you and say it out loud when you're brushing your teeth. Say, I love you. Say, your hair looks amazing today. Say, you are the best mom or dad or brother or sister or friend. Say that you're proud of yourself for the job that you do every day. For a lot of people, it was hard to find 3 things. And I think that's the beginning of finding your truth. It's really trying to uncover what you need. It really is going to be about helping you through, the not so comfortable times. We've all been living through those these days, and I think that we are working on that. And I think it's also going to help us build this community stronger than it has been in the past. And, that's really what I want. I'm hell-bent on, creating something for humanity, and that has always been my mission. And I think that, when you do things with other people's best interest in mind, you find happiness and you find your truth and you find a whole new layer of yourself that you didn't even know existed. And you can be really proud of that, right? Because that's when the true work starts and the change happens, and big things can come from that, right? And it doesn't have to be public, right? I mean, you don't have to go live on Facebook the way I do or bring in guests on your, Facebook watch show. But, it really is a time for reflecting and thinking about what actually matters. And I think a lot of us have done that work this year, especially since we're all, at home in our quarantines and, dealing with our kids and dealing with all the stuff that has been thrown at us so quickly. We've had to, bounce and change and pivot and move in a way that can potentially be uncomfortable sometimes, but also can be life-changing for us, right? I know a lot of people who made big decisions this year. We are some of those people. Not easy to make those decisions, but when we had to stand in the mirror or stand, facing each other as a family or as Will and I or as individuals and say, what is actually the right thing for us to do in this moment, rather than what is it that we really want to do, right? Sometimes those things don't match, and it's okay. And that's part of the truth, right? That's part of creating something that you can look to yourself at and be proud of. And it's something that you can help others with when you have now used the tools that I'm going to share with you over the next, several weeks. I'm going to do this quarterly. So for the first quarter, I'm going to try and have, probably 6 or 7 guests talking about uncovering their truth and, where they are today as a result of that. So we're going to take this quarterly. We're going to have these discussions. I'm going to be putting out more information and, more tools and tips and things that you can use as you're, going through this with me, I hope, or learning something or potentially educating others as we all, work to make ourselves and our communities better. So that is the gist of Why Am I Yelling Because Truth, episode 1. And, check back. I will let you guys know when the next episode is going to air. I'm working on scheduling with some friends who want to come on and share their stories. And if you know anybody who wants to share their story, if you want to share your story, I am totally open to having a conversation and having you on as my guest so we can talk about how maybe confronting your truth has changed your life in some way. I hope that you guys have all had a decent start to the new year. I know it's, we're only 7 days in and it's been a little tumultuous, for our country and for the world. But I hope that for you on a personal level, it has been less so, and that you are able to, get back into some kind of groove and, enjoy yourself doing whatever it is that you're doing. As I said before, we're getting our puppy on Saturday, and I could not possibly be more excited. We still don't have a name for him, but we have a very long list. And the boys can't wait, so we pick him up Saturday morning. And so be prepared for the barrage of Rizzo Femia puppy pictures to come in the next few days. Elias woke up this morning and was like, 2 more sleeps and we get the puppy. So I will leave you with that because that's good news. And we're super excited about that. So I'm going to flip this around so you guys can actually see that the sun is shining in Connecticut and I'm at my lake, which is not frozen over yet, which I think is kind of late in the season at the moment. But I'll take it because maybe that means it won't freeze this season and we won't have a ridiculously cold winter. That's it. I love you guys. Today's yell is I love you. So if you are follow me on the Instagram and check out my Instagram stories. Every morning I post a daily yell. It is a motivational tip for you to use throughout your day. Today is I love you. Say it more, say it often, say it to everybody you know, say it to people you don't know, because the world right now, you guys, needs a whole lot more of love. So I love you. Thank you for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Mwah. Have a great day.